How would you like 4 to 8 new listings every single year from a source that most real estate agents are not even addressing? And the best part, these listings are free. They cost you zero money. They are a veritable gold mine. And yes, most listing agents walk right by them every single day. What am I talking about? I'm talking about out-of-area landlords. You know, one of the things I discovered a long time ago is that out-of-area landlords, people that are owning like a single-family home, or maybe it's a condo, or maybe a multi-unit building, they are always constantly thinking to themselves, does this investment make sense for me? And this is the best part, is there are so many reasons why an out-of-area landlord really has issues with their investment and wants to translate that investment into maybe a better investment. Here's the deal. Especially at this time of year, I'm recording this in the spring, especially at this time of year, a lot of out-of-area landlords are looking at their tax deductions and they're looking at their depreciation deductions. And as you guys probably know, depreciation is a real attractive expense that can be deductible on your income taxes, but it doesn't last forever and it gradually whittles down. So if they're at the end of that depreciation life, their tax deductions are becoming a lot smaller. They could have other reasons too. They could have terrible tenants that are driving the landlords crazy. The place could be run down, maybe because of the tenants. You know, this is something that I think a lot of landlords deal with. I'm a landlord myself, and I know that every time I get a call from my property manager, you know, I just sort of cringe. One time I got a call from my property manager from a house I owned in Oklahoma that the tenant was brandishing a gun. Yes, and the police had to be called and all that kind of stuff. Crazy, but I digress. But there can be all kinds of issues. Problems with the building that they're sick of. They don't want to repair the building anymore. They don't want to deal with the tenants because the tenants are all wonky. As I mentioned, the depreciation deductions and their deductions aren't just cutting it anymore. Maybe just the fact that they're out of area is something that's giving them a lot of grief. So out-of-area landlords have a lot of great reasons why they want to get rid of that property and either do a 1031 tax deferred exchange, which means they can take their tax basis in their old property and move it into a new property without paying any taxes. And so that's something that you should know about. But there's a lot of reasons why out-of-area landlords just want to get rid of a property. So they're constantly thinking this, okay? And then one day, especially around tax time, but it can happen anytime, they're going to make that decision that they want to sell. They want to do a 1031 tax deferred exchange, whatever. And you want to be that listing agent that's staying in touch with them. You want to be that listing agent that is demonstrating to that landlord that you are the authority and the expert in your particular market. You want to be the listing agent that is thought of instantly by that landlord when they do pull the trigger and make that decision. So how do you do it? It's so simple. And did I mention it doesn't cost any money? Yes. Here's how you do it. All you have to do is you just go down to the tax records, find them online, wherever, and they actually have lists of properties in your particular zip code or your particular county of people who don't necessarily live in your county but own a property there. So that's a telltale sign right there that they own. They're probably a landlord, or even better yet, they don't have tenants and the thing's draining them. But they're owners of properties in your marketplace that live somewhere else. It could be out of the county, it could be in another part of the state, it could be in another state. Lord knows at one point in time I had quite a few properties all over the United States that I was not managing myself. So anyways, the bottom line is you want to get a list of all these out-of-area owners and you want to call them. And it's real super simple script. all you have to do is just say something along, hi, this is Chris Stafford with XYZ Real Estate. I see you own this property here. I've been working in the area for 87 million years, and I was just curious, do you have an exit strategy? That's the whole script. Do you have an exit strategy? And that is a great conversation starter, because most of the people are going to really open up and talk to you and justify to you whether they need to keep the property or not keep the property. Or they could say, hey, I'm going to keep it maybe for another year, or maybe I'm going to keep it for 3 years, whatever. So what you want to do is you want to put these people into your CRM. Make sure that you're getting a statement of qualifications out to them. I talk about statement of qualifications, which makes you look super cool and super professional as an expert in your area. And then send them your statement of qualifications, send them your business card, and tell them that if it's okay, that you'll stay in touch with them. Now, what I would do is, depending on what they say, if they say, I'm going to keep it for another year, whatever they say, you know the old adage, cut it in half. I would call them every couple months, quite honestly, because here's the most important part. If you get nothing from this video, the most important part is that you have to stay consistent. You have to be consistently calling these people. That's why they need to be in your CRM. And you need to have your CRM tell you, task them out into the future. So your CRM tells you that you have to call these people every single day, because the consistency is really what's going to push you over the finish line. I've talked to so many listing agents in the past 30 years as a listing agent, where they do it once, they do it twice, and they say, oh, this isn't going to work, one of those things. It does work. Trust me, I've been working out of area owners for years. This strategy works, but only if you work it consistently. So yeah, there's a really good chance you may get a listing in the next month and the next 2 months, but that listing may come in 6 months or may come in a year. So it's important that you make notes and put them to task them out into the future, so that you can then, the next time you talk to them, you can really have a great conversation, building rapport based on what you talked to them last, okay? Because then they know that you're really listening. Bonus points if you have a YouTube channel and you can point them to your YouTube channel, send that YouTube channel to their email address, or put it in your statement of qualifications, so they can again further solidify the fact that you're the expert in your area. But consistency is the key. Send them your information, keep calling them until they say they're going to keep the house forever, or they're going to keep the multi-unit building forever. But even then, I would probably still call them once a year, because there's no such thing as never. It's just not. They're going to always think about selling that property if they're looking at it solely as a strong investment. Now, I have a great idea too that you might be interested in, because I know I can hear a lot of you moaning saying, well, Chris, I don't want to make that cold call. I don't want to do the calling. Well, I've got a solution for you. I've got a guy who is a skip tracer, and he is an amazing guy. Skip tracer basically means somebody who finds the information and the contact information on anybody in the country, whether it's out of area owners in one particular zip code or one particular county, whatever. But he will find that information for you. But here's the kicker. He will also call them for you. And if you have him calling all these people, and then he just gives the leads to you and you follow up with the leads. I think that's a great setup. This guy, a number of people in my collective, number of my clients in the collective coaching program are using him, and he's very reasonably priced. So if you don't want to make those calls, just let me know and I'll give you that information. You could just put skip in the comments below and I'll get you that information for sure. But you keep consistently calling 100, 200, 300 out of area owners, I am telling you that you will end up with, and if you keep doing it, anywhere from 4 to 8 extra listings from out-of-area owners. Now that would be super cool. And again, did I mention that this is free? So think about this. I'm always encouraging all listing agents to have at least 3 streams of income. Think about this as being one of your streams of income. And if you don't want to do the work or work that hard doing it, make sure you get my skip tracer on the job helping you make those calls. And then let me know how you can make out-of-area landlords one of your most important streams ever.